And we're back, my friends. Thank you for standing by. Appreciate you allowing me that short break. The doggo is well taken care of. He's tucked back away with a toy full of peanut butter, ready to settle back in for the rest of his night. We had initially, when we first we first trained him to do his business outside, we would let him go pretty much right outside the back door. And just this past week, I have retrained him to not do that, but to wait until I walk him to the far edge of our property, out near the wood line, because I think that's a much better place for him to take care of that kind of stuff. So now when I take him out, though, when I take him out in the middle of the night, I gotta go with a flashlight and go all the way across, all the way back out to the edge of our property. It takes a little longer. It takes a little longer, and I'm really going to regret this. I'm really going to regret this when I have to make the walk in 2 or 3 feet of snow next winter. But I'll let future Frownie worry about that. So here we go, loop 3, my friends. Let's just check real quick. Yeah. I want to make sure everything. I just want to make sure everything is unlocked, because we're collecting all these.
Welcome to the Fantasy Garden. Here,
Seeds.
you can use the seeds you have collected during your trip to unlock special gifts. Choose a furrow first.
I'm pretty sure everything is unlocked. Christian Cool, thank you for the lurk, by the way. Always appreciated. Joseph says if Nintendo and Sony got along and we got the Nintendo PlayStation, that would have been one amazing video game generation. I don't know where we would have ended up if that had happened. I've heard different things about that story. Is this not something we can activate? Alright, I think that's it. I'm pretty sure that we checked this on our first playthrough too, so this is, probably an extraordinary waste of time to wander through here, but I don't know. If I've got nearly 4,000 seeds in my pocket, I just want to check that there truly is nothing to spend them on. I don't know why we're saving. Nothing has happened. Alright, continue adventure. I don't think we'll make it through this second or this third loop tonight, but we'll definitely get a good start on it. I'm thinking this is going to take probably 2 more nights after tonight.
Strawberry shortcake! Strawberry shortcake! Oh, hello, Orange Blossom. How are you? Very good, I hope. I can't believe it. I don't think I can dream anymore. Don't worry. I'll think of something. Oh, I know. Maybe there's a problem with the dream factory in the land of dreams. Wait for me here. I'll be back soon. Thank you very much. Strawberry, you are the best.
And immediately Strawberry transformed into Angel Cake. What if on 5 keys? What if on this loop or the loop after, the game becomes, because the difficulty's increasing every time, right? What if the difficulty reaches a point where I can no longer beat the game? Never happened in a kid's game. Never say never.
Oh no! Highman and Sour Grapes have put some fences in the way. You can't go further. But I have an idea. Find enough keys to open the door. I'm sure the keys have been hidden in the level.
Yeah, we've already found a lot of them.
Good! You did it! In the future, try to find as many keys as possible.
I've seen some atrocious things in my day. They at least make kids' games beatable. Their quality can be ultra low. Oh. Looks like we actually have to use the wings on an early stage. Wow, okay. This game is becoming more complicated. It's also making us do the little mini game every time we clear away one of those things now too, which is not something I'm excited about, because that just makes our lives more slow. it was actually pretty difficult to do that the right height. The worst example is The Lion King. It's terrible but beatable. That's probably the worst offender of a kid's game I've seen. I mean, so like, I don't know. I think, Lion King's pretty rough. Please stop running. I don't need the speed right now. Lion King I never beat as a kid, but we did complete it on the stream. Dollar Phil, welcome in. Hey, thank you for the raid, my friend. If you are, if you're worn out from a long stream and you need to bounce quickly to get some rest and take care of yourself, I would never hold that against you, my friend. But if you have the energy and the willingness to spend a bit of time with us tonight, I'd love to hear what you were up to and how it treated you. I saw, I don't know if it was tonight, but I saw recently you're playing Contra Shattered Soldier, and I was a little sad because I couldn't tune in because I haven't played that game yet, and I really want to avoid spoilers for that one. But I hope you were enjoying it. You finished Shattered Soldier tonight. GG. GG. I'm looking forward to that one. I've been told it's really good by some people that I trust. So I have high hopes for it, but I haven't gotten to it yet myself. I won't say anything because I know how you are. Yeah, thank you for holding off. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The way I feel guilty about the way I am sometimes because I know it squashes conversation, but that's just the way I have to be. That's just the way I have to be to get the kind of experience out of games that I want. I've got to be a little bit of a monster. I love it. That's great to hear. That's great to hear. I'm going to try and get used to it. I'm kind of like that too, but not as stringent. Yeah. Then you got Echo the Dolphin, who was for everybody. You realize the quality difference. Well, see, that's the thing that I'm not so sure of. Like, when we talk about games in the 8 and 16-bit era, like, Like, puzzling out who a game is for is not always very straightforward. That's why I hesitate to give, like, my own examples. How's this game been? I wouldn't recommend that you rush out and buy a copy for yourself. This game's alright. So the thing about this game is, we actually played this night 1 of January this year. It was the first game of our marathon, and we played through and beat it on the first night. But the trick to this game is that there are 5 levels of difficulty, and you only unlock each level of difficulty by beating the previous one. So if you really want to beat this game complete on the hardest difficulty, you have to beat it 5 times. You have to go through the whole game 5 times. We're on loop 3 right now. We've gone through it twice. So we complete this playthrough, which we just started. This is level 1. But we complete this playthrough, and then there's only 2 more left. And I like to 100% things, so I've committed to playing all the way through this game. I may be the only person in the world who's ever bothered to do it. I don't really believe that, but I know I'll be part of a very small club. Oh. Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. It actually does. The difficulty actually is increased. Like, the level layouts and the obstacles that you face have been, like, they are different. You're not just you're grinding through the exact same scenery every time. And the game is already very tedious and samey at, like, its base level, but I mean, they did legitimately, so far they have legitimately given us 3 different sets of, not necessarily difficulty, but complexity. They did mix up obstacles and stuff. It's not the exact same experience every time. It's just basically the same experience every time. Never cared to 100% things myself. I just want to see credits, Dollarfill says. I tend to say, like, I usually say that I don't have to 100% everything I play, but more and more that's really kind of becoming a lie. It's getting to the point where it's actually pretty rare I don't 100% the things that we play. It kind of depends on the game, though. It kind of depends on how clear the 100% condition is for a game. Like, Pac-Man World on the PlayStation is a good example, because that game has collectibles, but it doesn't give you, there's no way to check which collectibles you've gotten and which you haven't, or even like which levels you've completed and which you haven't. It doesn't give you any feedback. You play through the whole game, and then it gives you a percentage counter at the end. And I don't like that, because, like, if I can't check my progress as I'm going, and, like, I don't know what levels to go back to know if I've missed something, Like, that sort of, like, degree of non-feedback will discourage me from 100%ing a game. So we didn't 100% Pac-Man World, and I probably never will. And that doesn't even have to be something, like, it doesn't have to give you that kind of information right from the start or anything. It can withhold that information until after credits and then give it to you. But if there's no, like, if there's no way to figure out where you're at and where you need to go back to, then, like, I don't have the drive to complete those games. But if there's a way for me to know, like, if there's a way for me to know where I'm, like, how far off from 100% I am, and, like, what the road to getting there is, more often than not, I find myself 100%ing everything I play, as long as those conditions are met. I only like to 100% games I really like, Kusarigama says. Yeah, and I used to be more like that. But then also, like, I don't know. I like a much wider variety of games than I used to as well. I like a much wider quality spectrum than I used to, I guess. Some strange things have happened to me over the past couple of years. I've become a very unusual person. You see the beauty in the jank now. I've always had an interest in low quality games, but it's becoming more and more of an obsession. Hey, Master Tuesday, always great to see you, my friend. Happy Tuesday to you. I don't know if I actually said Happy Tuesday to you yesterday when you came in Tuesday. Hopefully I did. I may have dropped the ball on that one, though. I always say I play like I'm trying to 100%, but I never do. Like, if I see something, I have to get it, but I know I won't get everything. And that's the way... I used to be a lot more like that. I used to be a lot more like that, too, where, yeah, if I see something, I have to get it, but if I don't see everything, it's okay if I don't get everything. That's very reasonable, I think. I like the first Pac-Man World a lot. I was surprised how good it was. Oh, I didn't like that game. I thought I was going to love that game, and it started off really good. But about the time I got to the second boss, my love for that game started to wear pretty thin. And then it kind of only got worse. I was real glad to be done with that game. And that thing I said about, like, not getting feedback to it 100%, that really soured me on that game, too. I got really annoyed by that. So, yeah, sadly, I thought I was going to love Pac-Man World. I thought that was going to be, like, a new favorite, and it just didn't turn out that way. I didn't like it nearly as much as I thought I was going to. I can see liking it, though, because it did start, like, I can understand why you would. Because my playthrough started off really well, like I said. But by the time I got to the end of it, I wasn't so much a fan of it anymore. I went the opposite way. I think games have went down a lot in quality, so it's hard for me to buy new ones. I tend to stay in retro land. Well, I mean, that's pretty much what I do. Hey, Budafingers, welcome in. How can it still be Tuesday unless... Is it Super Tuesday? It's still Tuesday, so you have now. Happy Tuesday to you too. Hope you've had a better one than I have. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Master Tuesday. I feel like you've had a few rough Tuesdays lately. I hope I really hope that turns around for you. What is going on? I don't know what it is. I keep knocking my microphone around tonight. I just can't seem to stop bumping into it. Ooh, they hid a key behind a seed? That's the worst place they could possibly hide. We'll hide one collectible behind another collectible. We'll hide the mandatory collectible behind the optional collectible. They'll never look there. I've never felt so misunderstood. I just went on that long rant about how I don't like to 100% games where the game doesn't give you feedback about your progress. And keep in mind, you just heard that rant from the same person who just did a playthrough of Bubsy 3D in which I collected 200 atoms on every stage, even though the game doesn't track it. And doesn't consistently have exactly 200 atoms. So, everything you hear me say might be a lie. What do I really know about myself anyway? I was gonna say something about that, but decided better of it, Cow says. Oh, by all means. Please, I do encourage people to, I'm not afraid of having my nonsense pointed out to me. The many mysteries of Frownie, Butterfinger says. I'm a complicated guy. I think a very simple guy, but the paradox is that my simplicity causes me to behave in very complex ways. You had your own feedback. You also did passwordless Bubsy. Yeah, that just felt like the way to do that game. It felt like, Bubsy felt like a game that, like, I had to conquer in a way that didn't leave any doubts. There's something about the jankiness of that game that inspired the quest for a purer victory. Surprisingly tough to get out of this situation. I was more a fan of Shortcake's sister, Strawberry Short Temper, Buddhafinger says. I don't know what any of those things are. Is the difficulty getting more brutal at stage 3? It's definitely increased. It's not become brutal. It's not really that the levels are more difficult, but the obstacles are slightly more complex on each loop. But in a game where, like, there are no real stakes, there's no damage, there's no lives. It's hard to really say there is difficulty.
The way to the land of dreams is full of obstacles.
This boat, look, this boat has a quality of like a perpetual motion machine about it. It's powered by a fan blowing into a sail.
The Milky Way. Oops, I forgot to tell you that it was possible to go faster or slower with the dream boat. That will help you to avoid the obstacles and to reach the land of dreams in time.
What you're saying is you're wasting your time big time. Time you enjoy wasting is not wasted. Wasting my time would be playing Jump King. I'd be making no progress and being miserable. At least with this, I'm neither miserable. I'm making progress and I'm not miserable. You are enjoying this, of course, silly me. Just looking at all this cutesy happiness hurts my soul, Zergling says. I wouldn't say, no. I don't have a powerful aversion to all things cute and colorful.
Really are very good sailors. Phew! Here you are. Let's go to Dreamtown now.
I kind of try and remember to rotate through the cast in the opposite direction on this playthrough, just so we don't end up using the same character on the same level every time. Might as well, might as well have some variety. Since it makes such a huge difference. I guess just too good, too happy, etc. sets off all the warning flags for me, Zergling says. Like I've been possessed by a blue genie or an evil demon, and my soul is leaving, but I'm being hypnotized into mega happiness while they steal my soul.
This is wonderful. Thank you. I have something for you too.
I've got an obscure, janky game for you that I bet you've never seen. Zaboomafoo Leaping Lemurs. I've heard the title before, but I don't know what it is. You're right, Dollar Phil. I'm kind of stumped.
There must be some crystals.
This
around
reminds
here.
me of it a bit. Unless it's multiplayer, I prefer my platforming characters to have different abilities. Yeah, that would be nice. There are some slight differences to the characters. I thought it was purely aesthetic, but at least with Angel Cake, her growable platforms are moving platforms, and all the other girls are stationary. So there's at least one way in which one character is different. So there may be other other subtle differences I'm just not aware of, because I haven't paid close enough attention to compare them properly. But I couldn't say for sure. I just know, I find it odd that one character would be different in one way, and that be the sum total of it. So there could be more that I'm unaware of. But yeah, it would be nice, like, if there's gonna be a bunch of characters, it would be nice if there were actual mechanical distinctions between them. For sure. But then you do, in that situation, sort of run the risk that maybe a character that you find, like maybe the character with the best mechanics has something about their design that's also annoying to you. Like, they've got like an ugly aesthetic or an obnoxious voice or something. So you do run a risk. A slight one. Seems that Omega is familiar with this Zaboomafoo game. Played through it a while back for Lemur Day, but that's a long story. I would not have been able to name a lemur-themed video game if you had put me on the spot and demanded I name one. Like, the best I probably could have given you is lemmings. I don't think they're lemurs, right? But they kind of act like them. Are lemurs the animals that supposedly follow each other off cliffs? It was a kid's TV show about animals itself. Mario 3D World Toad. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, a character with a less than stellar voice. Where do I go to get more? Where do I go to get another cloud? Lemurs are kind of like a monkey. Oh, are lemmings real creatures? I thought lemmings were fictional animals. Lemmings are indeed real. I think they're real. I'm no expert, though. I just thought they were something made up for the video game. I thought they were based on something real, but that they were, like I said, but I didn't remember what. That's why I proposed that lemurs might be that thing. I don't think this level has been changed. I feel like this level is the same as it was in the previous loop. So maybe not all the levels are improved. You know what? These minecarts might be moving a little faster. I feel less confident in my ability to dodge them. No. How? How did I miss that? Crows are adorable goofs. At the level end? That is not. Right, I remembered that was just speed and not invincibility this time. Oh yeah, I forgot. The bubbles. The only music that interests me is the speed/jump music. I'm alright with the music. Let's go, first try. That particular bubble situation gave me a lot of difficulty on our previous loop. I wonder how many seeds we're gonna have in our pocket when we finish all the loops. What? I took fall damage from the high jump power up? Get out of here, game. That's no way to behave.
Fantastic! Absolutely terrific! You have found Dreamtown! There you should find the giant rainbow that leads to the Dream Factory.
Dreamtown, let's go. I am very curious to see when we finally finish this project if we're rewarded with any acknowledgement from the game vis-a-vis what we've accomplished. I kind of have my doubts. I kind of have my doubts the game is going to care in any way. Congratulations, you winner. I always liked, I think it's Pro Wrestling on the NES, that when you win, it says, "A winner is you."
Fantastic! This is great! You did it!
Oh, this is different. This is a lot different. These were simple cross shapes last time. The maze is more complicated to get to the crystals. What a stellar game. Constantly pushing us to rise to the most challenging of challenges. Oh, hang on. This is something different. There was nothing at all. The sideways moving obstacles? I've never seen anything like it. They might have a better ending since this is on the PlayStation 2. Yeah, but the thing is, I don't know. I just kind of get the feeling that there's not going to be an acknowledgement. The difficulty increase is not a lie.
This is great. You did it.
There's definitely more difficulty to 3 stars than to 2. It's undeniable. I've got another movie-based PlayStation 2 era game that I want to play really soon. But I'm really scared it's going to be another The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe situation, where 80% of the playthrough is just watching clips of the movie.
Find the giant butterflies. You'll need their help to reach the dream factory. You'll find the giant butterflies on the top of the mountain. You'll need their help to reach the dream factory.
Our playthrough of the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is the most heavily edited VOD in the entire archive, because all those movie clips got the videos blocked. So I took every one of them and I censored out all the movie clips with the spicy Frownie emote. It took a long time. It was definitely not worth all the trouble I put into it. I'm having a little bit of difficulty with the highlight reels with the highlight reel for Bubsy 3D, because I was so back and forth during the early game about whether or not I was going to collect all those atoms that, like, I think it makes more sense to group our achievements thematically, like, you know, by level by level rather than chronologically. So I have to move a lot of stuff around to put all of to put all of the important moments together. It's taken a long time. I do that once too, when I started my Dragon Quest V playthrough last year. I started with clips from the Your Story movie based on the game. Had to cut that out to get the video uploaded. Yeah, so I'm not thrilled at the prospect of playing that other game that might have a whole lot of movie clips in it, but we'll see. Ooh, these are moving in a weird pattern. I'll just trudge right through all of these. What even are these? I wonder. It's some sort of pastry. It explodes into a mass of purple goo that is apparently very sticky inside because it's hard to trudge through. But I don't know what kind of sweets these are. Blueberry? Carbonated blueberry muffins? Maybe. I don't know about the carbonation. Maybe blueberry. I would assume, like, the thing is, the villain is sour grapes. Is the name of the villain? I think there is a blueberry. I think one of Strawberry Shortcake's friends is supposed to be a blueberry, but I don't think she's in this game. So
Look at the airstream. By getting a star, it seems to have gotten stronger. Find 2 other stars and you'll be able to go higher.
I just want to jump in and say I'm loving the Frownie artwork. I hope you're having fun with Strawberry Shortcake. Hey, Conqueror Worm, thank you for that. It's my wife does the the overwhelming majority of the artwork for the stream. It's one of her creations. I just ask her for different characters when she has the time, and she puts something together. I'm very lucky. But thank you, I appreciate that. And I'll try to remember to pass the compliment along. Hope you're having a wonderful evening. A strawberry is not technically a berry, right? Because it has the seeds on the outside. That might not be the reason why. I feel like I've heard that a strawberry is not technically a berry. But a pumpkin is? I don't know. I don't know what the rules for these things are. Is a tomato a berry then? If a pumpkin's a berry. Is a grape a berry? That's what I want to know. Because sour grapes doesn't get to be part of the berry club, but if a grape is a berry and a strawberry isn't, I don't know. There might be some hypocrisy afoot. And it can't just be because sour grapes is sour, because one of Strawberry Shortcake's crew is a lemon. I don't know what's going on in this universe. It's 100% grapes since they were grapevines. Maybe they're filled with grape jelly. You find this game gets better with each playthrough? It's about the same. It's about the same with each playthrough. I wish that there had just been a difficulty. I wish there was just a difficulty option in the menu, and I could have just played through it once on the hardest difficulty and been done with it. That would have been the most interesting way to play through it, but they chose not to go in that direction for some reason. Bananas are berries? Greg is firmly in the tomato is a vegetable camp. Was close. I'm a grumpy old man, Greg says. I think it has to do with it having it's a scientific classification thing. Yeah, because it has seeds. That's where that comes from, Greg. Modern bananas do not have seeds because we clone them. Are bell peppers fruits then? Yeah, think of bell pepper, like a bell pepper, cucumber, all those like vegetables that have seeds inside of them. I think that they're all technically fruits. I think anything with a seed inside of it is a fruit. Olives are also fruit. I may be one of the last people on the planet that you want to rely on for your scientific data, though. You know, I'm still not convinced that crocodiles and alligators are not the same thing. Yeah, the important part is to make sure you don't put the tomato in the fruit salad. I saw a chef do that on an episode of Chopped once. Shockingly, I don't remember clearly, but I don't believe he was immediately kicked off the competition. As I recall, I believe that he survived serving the judges a fruit salad with tomato in it. Terrifying that other people messed up worse than that. Well, as I recall, he even knew. He even said that thing about, like, you know, knowledge is knowing a tomato is a fruit, wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad, and he said, but I'm going to do it anyway. It was a calculated risk, as I recall. I don't know, I wish I had better details. If I'm gonna regale everyone with paraphrased stories from television episodes I watched, you would think that the least I could do is remember the details. Cucumbers are the worst fruit. I'm not a big fan of cucumbers. I don't really like pickles either. Until they're pickled. I like pickled peppers. But just regular, like, cucumber pickles. Not crazy about them. Used to kind of like them a little bit. I'd snack on them every now and then, but I kind of lost my taste for them. I never really liked having them in or on anything. Jelly likes cucumbers, though. Jelly will make like just a simple cucumber and tomato salad. I like the tomato part. I love just a fresh tomato. Just slice it, sprinkle a little salt. I could eat my weight in fresh tomatoes, but cucumber not so much. You like radish pickles? I don't think I've ever had a pickled radish. I want to like radishes more than I do. Radish is okay, like I can eat it, but I'm not like I'm not like actively crazy about it. I wish I liked radishes more than I do, just because I'm a big fan of Fraggle Rock. That's what the Fraggles live off of, is radishes. I vote for pineapple as the worst fruit, but that's because they want to kill me, Cal says. Yeah, as much as I enjoy eating pineapples, cows.
Great, thank you. Please take some seeds in return.
Any piece of produce that wants to come for your life, my friend, is not a piece of produce I'm going to see eye to eye with. But don't worry, I've got your back. I'll make sure to eat any pineapples I come across. They won't escape my wrath. Greg likes plain cucumbers. I like eating tomato sandwiches in the summer. Just tomato, mayo, salt, and pepper. On just those things on bread. Yeah. I wouldn't be able to join you there because of my like my crazy aversion to condiments, but I can imagine it makes for something very light and refreshing. Thank you for saving me from the evil. You're not gonna do all 5 loops in one stream, are you? Oh no, we're not going to do that, Omega. We're probably gonna work on this for about another hour, and we'll save and call it a night. I mean, one loop I already did 2 months ago.
This is wonderful. Thank you. I have something
The
for you too.
the very first loop we did on the first night that we played this game, and it was only after I beat it that I figured out the 5 loop situation. And I was just like, well, we'll come back to it a little down the road. And then now that we're done with all of those other terrible games I wanted to play for Jankuary, finally, it was time to come back. But no, it takes too long to get through this, to do it all in one sitting. So it'll probably take 2 more streams of this to get through the rest of the loops. And part of you is saying, are you sure? Not really. Yeah. It's alright. It's alright. This isn't a bad experience. I'm having enough fun playing through this. What's your favorite / least hated Jankuary game? Of this year or all time? That's a good question. We've played a lot. What all have we gone through? Taz games. Just this year? Okay, that makes life easier. What did we do? Oh, Bubsy 3D. Hands down. That one's easy. Even though I only played it in March, it was a game originally selected for Jankuary. It just took me that long to get to it. I actively enjoy Bubsy 3D. I think that game's a lot of fun. The plan for tomorrow is Smash TV and 50 video games included. Chozo. We're not going to do Ape Escape again until next week. I think. I thought about, like I had said something about maybe doing the mini games for Ape Escape tonight, before Strawberry Shortcake, but then I was just thinking about how long Strawberry Shortcake's gonna take, and I don't want those mini games to feel rushed, so I'm gonna give them their own night, but that's gonna need to be next week. They probably won't be the only thing on the schedule for that night, but I'm going to put them with something that is a smaller project, so that it won't, so that I won't have to feel like, so they won't have to be shortchanged in any way. I don't think I'm going to complete all those mini games, because I don't think I can do that boxing game. And that makes me a little sad, but it's kind of intolerable. Hey, Board Jams, good evening. I believe it was you that posted the Cowardly Lion in the Discord, if I'm not mistaken? The Funko Pop? It looked very... If it was, I just want what stood out to me about it. It looked very golden. Was that a golden Cowardly Lion? I don't know if it was the lighting or if they actually made it gold. Oh yeah, so Bubsy 3D would be my pick. Overall, like if you want to include Jankuary and Jankuly games, maybe Powerpuff Girls Him and Seek. That game was really good. I had a lot of fun with that one.
Super duper. Here's the last star.
Greg says, I love a good Frownie stream, don't get me wrong. 38 stream streak and all. But after some of the games he's played lately, with all due respect, I have my doubts about sanity. His or mine, I'm not sure. Thank you, Dr. Evil. Oh my goodness, that Dr. Evil game, yeah. That's what really... So my plan, like, my Jankuary schedule was supposed to be Strawberry Shortcake, Austin Powers. What did we do? We did Strawberry Shortcake, Austin Powers, Dora the Explorer, and Bubsy. And it was so many different franchises because I expected each game to take one night. And I was right about pretty much everything except, I mean, this we had to come back to, but we did hit credits on one night with this, so I was kind of right about it. Even though we did have to come back to it now. But all the Dora games were one-night games. All the Strawberry Shortcake games pretty much were one-night games. Bubsy 2 was a one-night game. But those Austin Powers games, just Dr. Evil Knievel ruined it. All the Austin Powers games were 1 or 2 night games except for Dr. Evil Knievel. That game took forever. That's what really just destroyed the schedule. And then that one put me so far back that I had to start mixing in non-jank games back into the schedule. It's because we were out of January. Well, I didn't really have to, but I wanted to. What's going on? I think I made a wrong turn. Can I go back from here? Yeah, I think I just went the wrong way here. It's fine. It's all fine. It's the metallic chase version, Port Jam says. So it is. It is kind of gold then. Or that's why it looks like gold, because it's metallic looking. Right on. Boxing game. Yeah, one of the mini games in Ape Escape is a boxing mini game. And it's really janky.
Very amazing thing I ever saw.
Yeah. Dr. Evil Knievel took forever. Yeah, the boxing game is a mini game in Ape Escape. That's what I was talking about, Omega. Sorry it took me a moment to answer that. Oh yeah, Dr. Evil Knievel is my least. That's my least favorite Jankuary game this year. That's my Dr. Evil Knievel's my least favorite game of all time. It's the worst thing I've ever played on the stream. I dislike it more than Echo the Dolphin. And that's saying a lot, because I really hate Echo the Dolphin. That's an impressive mark of dislike. Echo at least had a few moments where I didn't completely hate everything about the game. Dr. Evil Knievel was like... There are no redeeming qualities to that experience. It was never not the worst thing possible. Echo maybe had lower lows. Like, Echo maybe had lower lows than Dr. Evil Knievel, but it had higher highs, and at least it had like some neutral areas, which were comparative highs. Dr. Evil Knievel was nothing but lows. The actual title of the game, if you want to play it for yourself, is Austin Powers' Welcome to My Underground Lair. Dr. Evil Knievel is a game contained inside that game. Welcome to My Underground Lair. What a horrible, miserable, awful experience. And play it on hard difficulty like I did, if you really want to be unhappy. I don't even know what the difference between the difficulties was, but I'm sure that my commitment to only play it on hard was a move against my own well-being. How could it have been anything else? When is Frownie going to play Austin Powers Pinball for PS1? We did play that a little bit. The thing is, I don't really know how to beat a pinball game. So we kind of played them lazily for about an hour or so. We kind of played it. We didn't spend a lot of time on it though. I doubt anyone would willingly play that game, especially if they saw the streams. I was pretty unhappy. I was pretty unhappy playing that game. Oops, that's not what I want to do. BRB, we'll see you when you return, Greg. It'll be going a little while yet. There's a very, like... I don't know, like a very sort of like PBS kind of quality to this music. I feel like I'm about to watch some educational programming. Or maybe I'm about to play Pilot Wings. It kind of sounds like Pilot Wings music. I'm trying to put my finger on why it was so familiar sounding, aside from listening to it for so many loops. This is the chilled out jazz vibe it has going on. Or it's not really chilled out, but like relaxed but friendly. It's very inviting. It took Frownie up until this year to notice that I had a different username in Discord. Oh no. No, it's difficult for me to remember when people's usernames are different. It's difficult for me sometimes to remember, yeah, which ones go with which people. I was pretty sure. I was like 98% sure, but I have mixed people up before, and I feel bad when I do that. Me too, I'm terrible with names, Cow says. I mean, you know, it's easy for someone to feel like you don't care about them when you get their name wrong, but at the same time, like, it's hard, like... It's hard to hold a bunch of different online names together in your head because it's so abstract. I don't have, like, a person and a face to attach them to. I just have to kind of remember intellectually that they go together, and, that gets a bit rougher. I might change my username to Cows Are Important Too to trick Frownie. Oh no. 2 cows, too important. Oh. So much fall damage. I think I want to go down first. Uh-oh. Did I want to come down here? Is there even anything down here? There's not. Oh, it just wrapped around. I thought this was a different area. The only prize for exploration is more seeds. And whenever I try to explore, I end up taking damage and spilling more seeds than I collect. Frequently, I don't even collect any because my exploration doesn't pay off to begin with, but it costs me seeds on the way there. So, like, you know, I'm well aware that the level of exploration I do makes no sense. I may be a monster, but I'm a self-aware monster. I did. I saw that cloud and thought. I thought there could be something down there. I better collect. Whoa. My lightning quick reflexes got me past those bats. Oh no, I missed a thing. Hidden in the level. Thank you for breaking the fourth wall and ruining my immersion. I think about that sometimes in games that are like heavy with the tutorial, where in-game characters are like constantly telling you like how to do things. You know, like press this button to jump and this button to access your menu and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of think like it would be a cool feature of a game if it had like similar to a difficulty selector. If it had like a nonsense tutorial selector, and like depending on like what level of tutorial you picked, like, you know, if you've never played a video game before and you need the game to explain everything to you, then you pick the lower level and like all the characters just talk like they usually do in games, where they just flat out break the fourth wall and acknowledge the controller and stuff like that all the time. But if you pick a higher level, then have all that dialogue stripped out, and any sort of like tutorialization that's done is done in a much more subtle, in-universe kind of way, where the characters like might tell you what action you need to perform, but not like what button on the controller does that action. Maybe even a pro level where the game doesn't bog you down with any of that nonsense at all. That would be really cool. I think that would be a cool feature. I don't think anyone ever bothered to implement it because you'd have to get your like voice cast to record a whole bunch of extra dialogue for something that only benefits like not the least common denominator. So I don't know. I don't really see a lot of development teams being willing to put the extra time and expense to that, but it would be nice, and you know, nice to have a less immersion breaks, right? Yeah, exactly. Something like that, Omega. You got it. I feel like in a super role-playing game, it would be appreciated. Yeah, something where you want it to be. Yeah, something where you want it to be really immersive. Exactly. Not so much in Strawberry Shortcake. Yeah. Maybe I don't need to be so cynical. The problem is you'd never see it in the kind of games I play. Oh yeah. I caught that. That was a nice detail, Omega. Press ZR and give it a few shots. You know how to pull a trigger, right? A gun. Let's hope you know how to use it. I don't know if it picks up on the mic when I start tapping my feet. Sorry if it does. I was getting lost in the music for a moment there. Maybe we'll just wait on that tornado a moment. Creating surround sound. Talk about immersion.
Thank you. I love it. Please accept this from me.
I think a tutorial immersion setting would be a good idea. That's a good term for it, too. Immersion versus tutorial. Immersive tutorial. Yeah, I think it would be cool, but yeah, just I've never seen a game make that particular effort, but I guess I don't play a lot of the kind of games where the benefits would really shine through either, so. You know me though, just anything. Please, anything to minimize tutorials. I'll gladly sit stuck in a corner in a video game for 3 hours, as long as it means I don't have to sit. As long as it means I don't have to sit through a 3-minute tutorial. It's not even a lie. I can vouch for that 100%, Cal says. I might be a tad bit unreasonable. I've seen it happen. I'm really good at pointing to, like... Well... I was gonna say that, like... How do I word it? So I can think of things like you know, like being this way is how we end up with like my first playthrough of Spawn on the Super NES accidentally being a challenge run because I never learned about the magic powers. Or defeating Ornstein and Smo with the crossbow because that's the best idea I could come up with, not knowing how to play the game. Like, we get moments like that, but I was trying to think, like, what it costs us, like... Like, where are those, like... what are the examples of, like... where I got stuck for 2 or 3 hours trying to do something that was never going to work. I think Scooby-Doo is probably a really good example. But even then, even though I was stuck in Scooby-Doo for several hours at a time, I did manage to get a lot of collectibles during the backtracking, so... Yes, I was stuck, but I did make progress while being stuck. Nothing. It gifted us hours of endless shenanigans. Yeah, I like that Omega. Yeah, immersion low directly tells you what you need to do. Medium provides a hint for what you need to do. Hard, figure it out yourself. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I was envisioning. Double time, I like that too.
This engine can build dreams. It's fantastic. By collecting the good elements, we should be able to build a dream.
Double tap, double time, no
But
hints.
be careful. There are also bad things. Don't touch them.
No. Alright, it doesn't actually seem to matter if we miss the good things, as long as we don't touch the bad things. Look, it's using 3. It only used 2 conveyor belts last time. It's using 3 this time, so you think it'll be 4 next? We can only hope. Yeah, there's no way to get over there to that, though. Some of these just have to be missed. Oops, that one didn't have to be missed. Victory.
Oh, it's almost bedtime. It's time to leave this place quickly.
I'm kind of thinking about wrapping it up there for the night, my friends. Me. Click through. Hopefully that saved our progress where we were. I think I saved the game. We've made we made quite a lot of progress. We completed a loop, about a loop and a half, a loop and a little over half. It's a little early to wrap up, but I got to get up a little early tomorrow, so probably a good place to call it for tonight. Fair enough. It's been fun being here. I thank you, Omega. It's been great having you with me. Definitely appreciate your company. Thank you, Cows. Thank you, Greg. I was just thinking about heading to bed soon myself. It is that time. It is that time. I'm gonna keep working on ideas for immersive tutorial. Maybe cut out hard for now and just come up with ideas. One that directly tells you what to do, and one that provides hints. Right on. I'm glad you're on board with the idea. I thought it was a clever idea, so I'm glad that you agree as well. Hey Zergling, thank you. I was dozing off. This works out well. Spectacular. Thanks for a great stream, Cal says. Looking forward to some 50 video games included. Oh yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to play more than just one game. The last 2 times we played 50 video games included, it's just been one game nights. So hopefully we'll actually beat some things. We've got that puzzle game, so that's what we're doing tomorrow night, my friends. I'm going to try and start up around 11 p.m., give or take, Central Time Zone. Might be a little early, might be a little late. We're going to play Smash TV at the start of the stream. I'm going to make maybe 2 attempts at that game. The first 2 hours, I think, will be Smash TV. And then 50 video games included for the rest of the night. We're going to have to finish up that puzzle game that we started last time. There's 3 levels left in that. Fortunately, that one lets you jump to any level, so our progress isn't lost when we put it down. We'll play more Strawberry Shortcake next week. But yeah, tomorrow, Smash TV, 50 video games included. Thursday, Jet Force Gemini. That's the plan. I'm just sitting through an ad. I'm going to push us in the direction, though, of our friend Nado Fett. Nado doesn't usually stream later than we do, so this is a treat being able to drop by Nado's stream. Fantastic stream. Nado likes to play, does lots of retro games, is an original hardware enthusiast like I am, but with an asterisk by that. Nado likes upscalers and like really polished like video and on audio experiences. He's not as rough and low tech as I am, but he likes the original machines. Likes retro games, likes challenging games, and is a Super Metroid speedrunner. And that's what he's actually doing tonight is Super Metroid, and it looks like it's a co-stream with his wife. So we'll drop in and wish them some good luck. Thank you one last time for being here, my friends. It's been great. It's been great being able to enjoy your company while we kind of slog through this game. I hope you're well until I get to see you again. I hope I get to enjoy your company again very soon. But we're all out of stuff to do for tonight. It's time to head out. Let's go on an adventure.